Hey, what's going on, Cyber Pros? And in this video, I'm going to be answering a question that came to me from my free student community. By the way, if you haven't joined the free cybersecurity student community, link down below. This is a free cybersecurity training and networking community where you can go network with other students, other professionals, connect with me, connect with other people, and really ultimately get further, faster, farther in your cybersecurity career, all here for free. So link down below. So this question comes to us from, and I'm sorry, I might botch the name a little bit, so I apologize. Tihalafo? Sorry. But anyways, this gentleman asks, hey, I'm a nurse living in the UK. I saw this video about cybersecurity not too long ago, and I got really interested. I'm still worried about the following. I need advice on these, okay? And the things he's asking is, which school in the UK may you recommend for studying cybersecurity and why? And two, job availability or availability for job opportunities after completion. Okay, cool. So first off, thank you for your question and thank you for joining the community. So to answer your questions, which school do you need to get into to learn cybersecurity? Well, you don't. You don't need to join a school. You need to learn skills. See, the difference between traditional formal education, the things that we know, we go to college, or university, and we go for 4 years or 6 years or whatever it is to acquire the credential so that we can go and get the job. That idea is actually starting to go away. Like that traditional formal education method is dwindling. And studies have actually shown that it's going down by like 6% per year, with the exception of professional, formal things like becoming a doctor, becoming a lawyer, like those types of roles. Those types of roles would require that you go to a university. But if you're trying to become something else, like a cybersecurity engineer, that's not necessarily the case. So in order for you to get into cybersecurity, you do not need to go to a college. I don't care what country you're in, that's not a requirement. The things that you need to do is acquire the skills. So you need to know how to do stuff. You need to know how to solve problems that employers have in order for you to work in technology, period. Okay? Good example of this, if you want to become a software developer, you need to know how to write code. And you know how to write code and build applications, then you can go and be a software developer for a company. You going to a college and getting a 4-year degree, getting a bachelor's, or going and getting a master's after 6 years, that's not going to help you build better software. That's just going to help you get a credential. And the same thing applies to cybersecurity. You go into school for 4 years, is it going to help you become a better cybersecurity professional? It's not going to help you remediate exploit or patches and exploits and mitigate those things. It's not going to help you do that. It's just going to help you get a 4-year piece of paper, a bachelor's degree paper that says that you went to school. And I know this because I did it. Okay, I'm a graduate from Western Governors University. I was actually part of the first graduating class for Western Governors, and so I know that traditional schools do not help you. I was accepted to NYU. I was accepted to Johns Hopkins. I was going to pursue a master's degree in cybersecurity just so that I can get the title. And one thing I learned is that those things don't really matter. I was able to still make a significant amount of money as an employed cybersecurity professional, and I didn't need a bachelor's degree. I didn't need a master's degree. As a matter of fact, a lot of the people that I was working with, they didn't have that stuff, right? So I kind of learned this after the fact. And so to help you avoid the student loan debt and all the, waiting and painstaking nights of having to stay up and drink too many coffees and work late, don't do that. You do not have to do that. What you do need to do is you need to focus on your skills, okay? So what school do you need to go to? You do not need to go to a traditional school. Now, what school you should probably be considering is a online program that will allow you to work your day job, not have you quit, and so you're still bringing in money, you're still keeping the lights on, you still have food in the fridge, but you can still work on your education and your skills after the fact, right? So this will allow you to work on individualized courses, hopefully in a training path that will shape the course of your career. For example, if you wanted to become a security analyst, you can join an online program that will curate that information for you and help you develop the skills and gain the exposure to the tools and resources that are available to you so that you can go out there and become a security analyst, right? By the time you're done, from start to finish, you would have all the skills and all the exposure so that you become a security analyst. If you want to become a security engineer like me, then you would find a program that offers that, a holistic training path where you can go step by step and acquire the skills to become a security engineer. If you want to become a governance, risk, and compliance specialist, somebody that works on making sure that the company is compliant with things like GDPR or things like HIPAA, whatever, right? Then you're going to go down a training path and so forth. You get the picture. So really what you want to do is you want to start to do some research. What are the different careers in cybersecurity that I can get into? And try to figure out what aligns with your interests, right? There's different kinds of jobs out there, but you want to try to find the one that's going to align with your interests and then start to pursue training that is going to align with that, right? And if you're not sure, if you're reading them and you're like, oh, they sound similar, or I really just don't understand what the differences are, then try taking some fundamental courses, some basic courses that will help open your eyes and gain exposure to the various different types of career paths that are available to you. Okay. Once you have that exposure, then you can start to double down on what that is, right? But again, you have to be very organized. You have to be very specific and strategic about where you're going, right? Because if you don't have an end in mind, you're going to just be walking around in the dark and you don't know where you're headed. But if you do have a target, if you can see the light at the end of the forest and we're going towards that light, then that is going to help you kind of gain that direction, right? But you have to be the one that identifies where that light is and start to walk down that path. So it's kind of twofold. You know where it is, you know, you're looking at it from a high level, you know where you're going at the end, but then you get back down to the nitty gritty of it and you are working on the micro steps to get to that end result. Okay. So hopefully that helps you with one, what's school? It's not really about the school. It's about finding online programs that work with your life, your day-to-day, so that you can go and do what you got to do. Okay. Number two, what kind of careers are available to you? Well, I'm going to go ahead and say this. You're going to have all different types of options in cybersecurity, just like you're nursing right now, all different types of specialties inside of nursing. Just like that, there's all different types of specialties inside of cyber. Nursing is, nursing medicine. Cybersecurity is a form of technology, right? Nursing is a form of medicine. This is a form of technology. So within cybersecurity, I've already mentioned a few. You've got compliance, okay? We've got engineering, and we've got analyst type work, which is operational. And then you can kind of get more deeper in the weeds, but those are traditionally the three paths that people tend to take. A fourth one that is very common is ethical hacking, where you're kind of like acting like the bad guy, but after you're done attacking a company and finding the exploits, finding the vulnerabilities, you're writing a report and providing this to the company so that they can go and fix it, right? So that's kind of like the fourth option. For somebody that's going in from a non-technical background, I like to recommend going the GRC route, which is going to be the governance, risk, and compliance route. The reason why I like recommending that is because this is perfect for people that don't have a lot of deep exposure to technology. Maybe they've built a computer, maybe they haven't. That doesn't really matter. You're going to learn what the inner workings of a computer are at a high level. You're going to understand what the inner workings of a network are. You're going to understand various technical components. Hopefully you get some exposure to the cloud. And then you're going to understand how compliance plays a role in systems and networks and software and the cloud. And then you can start to curate a path for yourself down that way where you can start to become a GRC compliance cybersecurity specialist. Okay. So that's one path that you can go down. Another path, like what I did, is security engineering. And the reason why I love security engineering is because it's somewhat technical. It can be very technical. It could be a little less technical. That's okay. But you're right there working with very smart technologists all the time. Okay. So a day in the life for somebody like me as an engineer, I'm working with software engineers. I'm working with DevOps engineers. I'm working with IT systems engineers. And while they're out there doing what they need to do, they're building systems, they're building failover backups, they're building software. I'm working with them to secure whatever it is that they're needing to do. Right? So if we have, a new cloud environments, then I'm making sure that we are building in redundancy, that the system that they're building is available, and also making sure that it's compliant. So I'm also kind of doing some stuff with compliance too, but it's still deeper in the technology side, right? And if I'm an analyst, a security analyst, this is the third path. That path is going to be a little bit different from engineer because you're going to be sitting there waiting for events to take place. You're waiting and monitoring for attacks. And when attacks happen or when suspicious activity happens on a system or happens on a network, then you're going to be reporting that and you're going to be going in and probably fixing it. Like you're going to probably be going in there and identifying that, maybe escalating it up the chain of commands, letting some other more mature, higher level engineer, somebody with a couple more years experience than you, they're going to go in and fix that vulnerability. And they're going to go, lock everything down. They're going to go blacklist the IP addresses that are, showing that someone's trying to come in and attack the network from. Like that's kind of what that looks like, right? Now, if we look at like work-life balance, okay, I'm kind of going a little deeper here, so forgive me, but if we're going a little bit deeper into the details, work-life balance of these different types of roles, this is what you can pretty much expect. GRC, which is the compliance route, okay, so becoming a compliance specialist and becoming a security engineer gives you some work-life balance because you're usually more proactive, you're not reactive, okay? If you become a security analyst, you're going down a reactive cybersecurity career path, okay? That means that you're waiting for something to happen. Something could happen in the middle of the night, and you have to be awake. Or somebody has to be awake to make sure that we're blocking the attacks, okay, or that we're handling the attacks. If you're an engineer or if you're in the compliance side, you're working pretty much normal hours for the most part, and you're working when the other team members are working. So you're trying to make sure that things are secure before somebody attacks. If you're an analyst, you're basically monitoring for somebody to attack after everything has been built and somebody's trying to break in the castle, right? So an engineer, they're building the castle, they're making sure that we have a moat, we're making sure that we have our gates up, we make sure we have our guards posted on the walls, right? If you're the analyst, you're one of the guards on the walls with the binoculars or the telescope, and you're waiting for the army to approach the castle, right? So that's kind of like the little analogy there, right? And if you're a compliance guy, you're making sure that the castle was made with the right type of rock. You're making sure that the moat was deep enough and that there's crocodiles in it and all that fancy stuff, right? You get the picture. So the idea here is, being in the engineer position or being in the compliance position, you have standard working hours normally, right? And you're not necessarily having to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go put out a fire or make sure that the walls aren't being broken down by a catapult. But if you're an analyst, you get what I'm saying? You're up late, or you're going to have to be getting up. It's more of around the clock kind of thing. So that's going to be the different types of positions that you can typically go for. Now, if you're interested in becoming an ethical hacker, then it's kind of like a whole different thing, because basically you're getting contracted to have the army or simulate the army to go and attack the castle. And the company that's hiring you to do that, they may tell you to show up at 4 a.m. and try to break the castle down because we want to see how resilient this castle is going to be, right? How resilient is our network going to be? How resilient is our software going to be? Whatever, right? And so you're the contractor that's showing up when they tell you to. You're basically the mercenary, right? You're the mercenary showing up when they tell you to be there, and so you got to be there, right? And you're always waiting for that next contract. So that's, it's kind of living life on the edge there, but some people love it. They love the fast life, and that's what they want to do. As for me, I want stability, so I went the engineering route, and I loved it. Built a very good career, made a lot of money, did great. So those are the kind of like buckets that you can typically aim for, and those are the different types of details, I guess, that you can kind of expect when you decide to pursue one of those different career paths. So hopefully this helps. Again, thank you for this question. By the way, guys, if you are interested in joining the free cybersecurity community, I have it in a school group. The link is down below, 100% free. There's nothing in there that I'm trying to sell you. So feel free to join there, ask your questions like this guy did, and I will make another video talking about it pretty soon. All right, peace, be blessed.